Hey YouTube, I am back. We are going to look at some games here and try to find some bets. I had a winning day finally, so we're just going to go over the games from today and then go ahead and just move on to the new ones coming on for Friday. So first game was Virginia versus NC State. We laid 5.5 with Virginia. They covered it. And honestly, wasn't an easy cover at all. This was down to the bitter end. They had so many turnovers and missed free throws and just they let up offensive rebounds. The last 1 minute of this game was horrible. I actually counted myself out and stopped watching and then they just I just saw that they covered. So nice job, Virginia. Honestly, a somewhat shaky of a win, but there you go. You guys got it. NC State is now eliminated. I'm not sure that I think they probably will still get an at-large bid. I don't have the net ratings up right now. We could take a quick look though. These are Ken Palms. Let's check the net ratings and let's see where do they stand. NC State. Woo! They're at 35 net rating. Wow, SMU is 37. So, I mean, they gotta hope that a lot of these high net rating teams win their conference tournaments. That'll help them. Because, like, if a lot of these teams that are ranked in the top 25 win their conference tournaments, that does free up some at-large bids for these bubble teams. So, I don't know if they're gonna make it. I was leaning no, but the fact that they did get that win versus Pittsburgh, and I think they got another win recently, so we'll see. We will see. I don't know that they deserve it. Yeah, I don't know that they deserve it over some of these other teams, but yeah, it's gonna be close. We will have to wait and see on that one. All right. Anyway, Toledo money line. I liked this bet a lot. I like taking the money line because I would have lost if I had laid the 1.5. So this is why you actually have to be meticulous about the lines you get. Like I've lost so many by the hook and won so many by the hook the past couple weeks. It's pretty crazy to actually see it play out. But this one we won. They won the game by 1 point. It was pretty close. They had a lead for a lot of the game, a small lead, so I felt good about it the whole game. At the end, it was a little shaky, but it's like, you know, Ohio just came back to bring it within 1 point at the end, very end. So we got the cover, and then next game was Utah State, who whooped on UNLV. I really like this game too. I thought UNLV was due for a little slip up, and I was right. They didn't play that good. They got killed by almost 20 points. Utah State, the opposite. They reverted back to their old ways from early conference play and just came in and whooped on this team. So they looked good. Went exactly how I hoped it would. So that one went great. And now to the losses. So Middle Tennessee, this is just another weird conference game that I just shouldn't have been betting. These pick 'em small conference games that I love to hop on and lose. I thought I honestly, just for some reason, just thought Louisiana Tech was just a horrible, horrible team. But hey, they might win their conference, so be on the lookout for what they do. And see, Middle Tennessee didn't even come close to winning this. They were about down by 10 like most of the game. They brought it to within like 6 when there was like around 5 minutes left, and then just blew it and lost by like 10. So not a good team. Shouldn't have backed them. But our next loss was Georgia. Woo! So I've been getting smoked trying to fade Ole Miss. So I'm gonna leave them alone. They might be the Cinderella team here. They might win the conference tournament. They're going to play Alabama tomorrow, so they're getting 10 points against Alabama. I'm just not gonna touch it. I honestly low key always lose when I bet Mississippi teams. Like earlier in the season when I first started watching NCAA, I made a rule that I just don't bet Mississippi games, and I should follow it because I've lost the last several I've done. I think I won against Mississippi State the other day, but Ole Miss is unpredictable, so not gonna touch the next game. And then finally on to the last win that put us in the green for the day was Arkansas Pine Bluff. I ended up getting a 5.5 on this game, but they opened up Arkansas Pine Bluff plus 4.5. So I just again like saw this game as kind of a pick 'em, and they ended up losing by three, but they were up for a lot of it. They definitely um like had a chance to win this game, but ultimately they did get eliminated, so sad to see them go, but they won for us, they covered. So we went 4-2. Channel record is now up to 59-40, so recovered a couple units that we lost the past few days. Let's hope we can get a couple more today. First game is George Washington versus St. Louis. So I honestly just personally don't think St. Louis is that good. I just think they had an easy schedule. Their conference isn't very good. So they looked like, good in that sample. But I got them winning this game by 2.5 to 5. So I would not back them here. It does seem like they're due for a bounce back. They're coming into their first conference play, so I don't know what to expect from them. They could come in here and whoop this team like they had been doing it earlier in the season, or George Washington can put up a fight because I mean, just looking at St. Louis in their samples versus similar teams, like looking at the ranked column, they're playing teams ranked an average of 86, and they're not clearing this number. They're winning by 5. So I don't really have any samples of George Washington playing teams that are like statistically ranked as good as St. Louis, but they seem to be holding their own in their best games too. In their sample of teams ranked 94 on average, they're barely winning by around close to a point. So yeah, I could see this being just a good close conference elimination game. So like the 6.5 seems cool to me, but I'm not gonna back George Washington. I just honestly don't know what St. Louis is capable of. I don't feel like I have a good read on them because my read is that they're like not that good and they're not going to cover this. But there are samples that say they will. I mean, they're covering this. They have a 7 point advantage whole second half of the season. So honestly, this is something that, like, if it was -5.5, I would be intrigued by St. Louis as a bounce back spot. But if it was 7.5, I would take George Washington because I low key just in my heart don't think St. Louis is that good. Like, so, hmm, not gonna move on it. It's just too tricky. I'm just gonna wait and see what happens with it. This game I did take, so I like Florida in this. I took them at 10.5. I got them winning basically between 6.5 and 13.5. So it's not like this is like at the bottom of that range, which is usually what I look for. But in the samples that I find to be the most relevant, they are just destroying Kentucky. I mean, looking at both of these teams on the road, Florida's way better. Looking at whole second half of the season and recent conference play. Florida is way better. They do have an easier schedule, but I couldn't really get that down anymore. It's only so many games, so I can't start chopping too many of them out of the sample. So maybe that line is a little overstated, but I do feel like Florida comes in and makes an example out of this team right now. Kentucky is like looked okay. Let's see if I can get that down a little bit. I guess I got it down to 49. That's not much different. Yeah, so I think that's kind of just what it is. Maybe I can get it. I don't think so. Let's see what I could do here. Wow, interesting. I go back a couple games and it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. I go back to that game and their sample now goes to an 18 Chem Palm. There must be like a number one team there. Yeah, even including more games in the trailing few, that drops Oh wow. Well, that would be why. Interesting. Yeah, so oh yeah, I can't really get this down to under 50. Let's see what I could do. Let me just go like I get it down to 46. So when I reduce the or when I increase the difficulty here, that so that this is 46, they're still they're still a six have a 16.3 point edge, and I can't really make their sample any easier, can I? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna exclude the hardest game and see if that is telling me not to do this. Let's see, greater than 10. That's within 6 points. And now I'm looking at a 46 versus a 40. And I'm still getting Florida with a 15-point edge, so I don't think that's a big deal. I like Florida to win this game by honestly like 15 to 20 points, so I'm rolling with them, taking a favorite here to start off. Just not that impressed with Kentucky, honestly, lately. And the other thing I like about this game is like Florida's beaten everybody by 10 plus points besides Kentucky. They've played Kentucky twice, beat them by 7, beat them by 9. So Kentucky got off easy those games. Now it's conference tourney time. Florida wants to set the example here and just let everybody know who's boss. So they're about to come in and cause destruction their first game in conference tournament, I think. I'm rolling with them. Next game, Charlotte UAB. I like UAB at 3.5, but the line moved. So I'm gonna go ahead and wait to see if I can get this at the 3.5 because I'm not doing 4.5. Like maybe I would do this as like a money line play. What was it? Did I like another money line? Nah, maybe further in the video, but I don't think Charlotte is that good. I mean, I think that UAB, like Charlotte's good performance recently is a good time to fade them. I mean, not that UAB is a ton better, but I mean they're looking at away games, like UAB is a lot better than Charlotte on the road. Overall, UAB has up to a 5 point edge, and in conference play they have a 3 to 6.5 point edge. So like the second half of season, the fact that they only have a 3 point edge is what kind of has me iffy. That I'm just like, I definitely am not laying more than 3.5. Like if this opened at 2.5, I'll forget it. I'd be all over it. Because even looking at Charlotte's play versus similar teams in the ranked column, they're losing by this number on average. So I like UAB to cover that 3.5. I think they come out and just like play really good here. Not sure what exactly they've been up to. Just a quick check on that. Yeah, I mean, Charlotte's only off one win. Like, it was a surprising win. They lost to all the good teams in conference, but they beat all the chumps. So they're out here beating the chumps. They eliminated Tulane. The Blazers probably maybe only have a couple more conference wins. The Blazers haven't won twice in a row since non-con, so that's concerning that they're off 2 wins, but do they just get eliminated here? I don't think so. Yeah, I mean they only have 2 more conference wins, so I don't think they're that much better of a team. Like the 3.5 is pretty good. So maybe I won't just move on that one. I'm gonna wait and see because I got them winning by five up to five. I think 5 points is like a reasonable line for this. So I'll see what I can get. If I can get 3.5, I'll grab them. This game went Wisconsin versus Illinois. I'm rolling with Wisconsin here. I took the 8.5, and I honestly think they're a live dog here. I think this is like overdone because they have an injury to that kid Winter who is there big, I get it, but like okay, you get rebounds, bro. You're tall. They have multiple other bigs that get rebounds. The kid they put in got almost 10 rebounds just last game. So I don't. I think that that's overdone. That kid is. It's crazy to me, like in how little of a difference injured players make. Like teams are going on runs without their best player. Like yeah, Texas Tech getting crushed today kind of does um against that theory, but they were on a run before that. So Wisconsin. And the other thing is, low key, Illinois does not have like any impressive wins. Like Wisconsin has more impressive wins than Illinois. It's just like they beat Oregon, Maryland, USC, Indiana, Northwestern, Washington, Maryland, Penn State, Southern, Missouri, Ohio State. Okay, so they have their most impressive win is Tennessee in the beginning of December. Other than that, their next impressive wins, okay, are in the end of January. They beat Purdue. Okay, I'm sure Wisconsin beat Purdue. Yeah, am I wrong? Wisconsin just beat Purdue too. Purdue's not that great. They beat Nebraska and Purdue. So, but they also lost to Nebraska earlier in the season, and then they only played Purdue once. Okay, so they haven't had a good win in, we're going on 2 months now. I mean, 1.5 months they haven't had an impressive win. Whereas the Badgers have. They beat Purdue just recently. I know that's kind of like um it kind of uh contradicts what I just said because I just said Purdue wasn't that good, but it's a good win for both of them. But they also have a win versus Michigan State and Illinois. So they have those wins. They beat Minnesota at Minnesota. They beat Michigan. They beat UCLA. They beat Ohio State. So it's like I like grabbing Michigan off of that really shaky win versus Washington because they were up the whole game, whooping them, really whooping them by double digits. And then, okay, was Washington hit some shots at the end and brought it within a few points. Like it happens. They got caught sleeping, and I think that will motivate them going into this game. And they're used to the court now. They just had experience on the court. Illinois is showing up to a fresh court off a couple wins versus easy teams. Wisconsin is just looking perfectly great here to win this. So I'm rolling Wisconsin. We'll see if I'm right here, but I think they cover this. I don't think Illinois comes in and like does really that crazy good. I think they hold it down defensively and I mean, Wisconsin has a great offense. Their offense is competitive with Illinois, and maybe their defense is a little bit worse, but it's March. They're gonna be playing tough against them. I got Illinois winning by like 7.5 tops, and I think that's just overdone because of the road sample. It's like, okay, looking at the road sample, it's like including some games from earlier in the season that I don't think matter. I think we care about the conference play here for the most part in this one, and they're only covering by 5 to 6. So we're on Wisconsin. Next, Tennessee Vanderbilt. Not gonna take this game. I think this game is a pick 'em. I yeah, I think this is too much of a pick 'em. I like Tennessee, but that's just because I actually like the team and I've just been watching them. But they plus Vanderbilt just beat them. I'm pretty sure they beat them twice this season. So I think it's a good spot for Tennessee to get their revenge for sure. I like that Tennessee is getting points because I don't really see much of an advantage to Vanderbilt. The only advantage I see is on the road. So it's like that's the main thing tilting because second half of season and in conference play, Tennessee has better numbers. So I like Tennessee, but I'm too scared to probably grab it. Like if it was maybe plus 2.5 or something, but I think this could just go either way. So I'm not gonna touch it. I'm just gonna see what happens. Next game, UMass versus Toledo. I like Toledo here, like money line. I love like if I could get a cheap money line, I'm taking it because they're 5 to 7 points better in conference. Like There's like one sample where UMass looks better, but I got rid of it because it was only a few games. Like looking at the ranked column, I got rid of the sample. I didn't weight it in this prediction because, I mean, there was like only like 3 or 4 games in the sample, and it's like, okay, Toledo took one bad loss at the beginning of the season, and now we're gonna skew the line by that much. So got rid of it. I got the overall, which has Toledo as a 1 point favorite, and on the road is concerning, but I think now Toledo is gonna be not gonna be a normal road game. This is an elimination game where Toledo has a real chance at winning this conference tournament. Like they're the second best team to me next to Akron, and Kent State has a tough game against Akron now, so Kent State is probably out of the picture. So like Toledo could be facing Akron in the conference final. I don't think UMass is built for that. I like to fade them right here off of that big win, even though versus the good teams on their schedule, they are holding it down. I think that ends today. So I like Toledo. I'm not gonna lay 3.5 with them though. I would actually consider laying 2.5, but I'm gonna look for a cheap money line if I can get one. Maybe if I can get one for minus 150, I would probably grab that, honestly. So we'll see. All right, Duquesne at versus VCU. I'm torn on this one. Not gonna take it. I think Duquesne is like doing surprisingly well versus the best teams on their schedule. Like they're losing by 8 to teams that are not much worse than VCU on average in the ranked column. They're losing in conference to teams that are way worse than VCU, but I mean they're losing by 1 to 2 points. So yeah, VCU has an 8 to 10 point edge second half of season and in conference, and they do have a 10 point edge versus the better teams. So I see why this line is 8.5, and I can imagine VCU coming in and whooping this team by double digits. I really can. So I lean VCU, but I don't know if I'm willing to lay this many points right here, given that VCU is going on the road this season and not clearing the sample at all versus teams similar to Duquesne's or Duquesne. So like VCU on the road versus teams ranked an average of 118 is winning by 3 points. That's not promising at all that they're going to be able to come in here and whoop them right now. So have they been covering this number? Like they've been barely covering this number in conference for a similar team. So like I think the line's good. Maybe VCU comes in here and destroys them. They are like the strongest team in this conference. I mean, I think they're just as good as St. Louis. So I'm intrigued by it. Like if I could get them minus 7.5, I'll move on it. I'll look at the lines and see what I can get. Next game, South Carolina State versus Howard. I'm honestly gonna most likely fade South Carolina State here. I mean, looking at they just like just won 2 games in a row, eliminated 2 teams from their 2 higher seeds from their conference while they were a 7 to 9 point dog in both of those games. And like I was on them for one of them, and I was on them for the game before conference play started. So I won a couple bets with them, but they are now versing Howard, who I think is just like in a completely other league compared to any teams on this conference. Like even versus Norfolk, yeah, Howard beat Norfolk by a similar number that South Carolina State did, but Howard played them on a look ahead. It was the last game of regular season where they had no reason to really put too much effort in. So Howard went on the road, didn't play well, and still beat that team by 8. So even their worst performance, they're still getting to almost double digits. I mean, they're going on the road in recent play versus teams that are better than South Carolina State and winning by 18. I mean, you put this team even close to anybody decent, they're losing by heavy double digits. Once you get down here on the away sample, South Carolina State on the road versus teams ranked around 230 on average, they're getting crushed. If you look at their overall schedule versus teams that are ranked 250, they're getting crushed double digits. So it's like you only like they're playing okay in recent couple games. So like I'm gonna fade them. They're not I don't think they're gonna hit any shots, and I think Howard is gonna come in and just destroy them and just really set the tone for who is the best team in this conference because Howard deserves a bid to the dance. I like this team. They're good. I think they're going to absolutely win by like 20 points. So I'm going to just ride Howard. This seems like such a crazy amount to lay that I think it'll work. So I like Howard. We're not going to let that South Carolina get away with that, with those two crazy wins. I'm sorry. They've been hitting too many shots. Howard well rested, coming to beat on them here. All right, Nebraska, Purdue. I like Nebraska, but I just don't want to bet this because I feel like I'm biased against Purdue. I just don't think they're good. And maybe I'm wrong because everybody seems to think they're good. I mean, their net rating is top 10. Do I have that open still? I have it open twice. Yeah, so like Purdue is top 10 net rating. I don't even agree with that. But I mean, a lot of teams have losses at this point, and I guess Purdue doesn't have a ton of them, but I'm not impressed with Purdue. I think Nebraska has already beaten them. Let's take a quick look. I like Nebraska, but I'm not going to probably lay it. I have Purdue winning by two, so the fact that I have them winning by two makes me want to take the 3.5, but I don't know if it's not enough. Like, look how bad Purdue is doing, and it's like, okay, is it a bounce back spot? Bounce back from to what? Like, yeah, they had this streak of wins, but these games were non-conference games and like this was a great part of the season for them. I understand. They came in hot. They did come in hot. They beat Alabama, Akron, Memphis, Texas Tech, Oh, they lost to Iowa State horribly. Like none of these teams are that good, but the Alabama win is good. The Auburn win's good. Wisconsin win is good. So they have a few wins, but okay, that was begin early January. We're now halfway through March, and they haven't done anything impressive. They beat Nebraska in OT by 3 points. That's the best thing they've done since early January was beat Nebraska, and I think Nebraska's not going to be happy about that. I think Nebraska is going to win. I really do. Purdue has a spot locked in the Big Dance. It's not like they have like I mean, both of these teams have a spot locked in the Big Dance. Where's Nebraska ranked? Nebraska's ranked 12, 26 and 5, Purdue 23 and 8. So, yeah, Nebraska had a way easier non-conference schedule, so I mean, that's not really a good comparison, but off a kind of a shaky win versus Iowa, lost bad to UCLA. So I do believe that Nebraska is in a spot where they're about to go off. They have some big wins too. They beat Michigan State, Ohio State. They beat a lot of the same teams. Hmm. Yeah, interesting. Okay. I like Nebraska. I don't know. I don't think I'll be really ready to move on them though. I just don't know about fading Purdue. Like people are just scaring me off of it. And it's just the fact that on the road Purdue is playing a lot better, but hmm, Purdue's going and winning by double digits on the road. So yeah, it's tough. Again, after factoring in everything, I have them winning by about two. So I like Nebraska. Probably won't bet it. Iowa State, Arizona. This one I like Iowa State, but I'm not gonna touch this just because like I just have no reason to fade Arizona here. I'm not gonna touch this game. I don't know what Arizona is capable of. I haven't really watched them enough. Iowa State has looked amazing, which makes me skeptical to back them now. So, not going to touch it, even though I think Iowa State covers. I got Arizona winning by three tops. But we will see. Miami, Virginia. I like Miami here. Miami's pretty good. I think that this game's gonna go to the bitter end. I got Virginia winning by three tops. In recent conference play, Virginia only has a 1.5 point edge. On the road versus similar teams, Virginia only has a 2 point edge. So yeah, second half of season they do have a 4 point edge versus ranked team. So I see it. Like I wish this was 5.5 because I would jump on it. I'm gonna be looking for numbers, so we'll see what I end up on. Next game, Kent State versus Akron. This one I am gonna back Akron, -6.5. Hopefully I can still get that. I'm gonna probably check real quick now, but yeah, I like Akron here just to step in. They're both used to the court. Akron just kind of had a shaky game versus Buffalo, so after having a couple days off, so I think that was a bit of a wake-up call. I don't think Kent State is that good. I think just their conference is weak, so Kent State looks kind of good compared to everybody else, but Akron is a clear step ahead of everybody else in this conference. And they want this. They need this for the tournament to get a bid. They're not getting an at-large bid, so I'm rolling Akron here to just come in and destroy this team. I got them winning by 4.5 to 9, so I like that this is kind of in the lower end of my sample because yeah, I think that looking at the recent play, Akron's way better. Kent State is it's good, but it's their time to lose. Let's see real quick if they what they've been up to, Kent State. Can't even find the game now. Here we go. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind bit fading them off of these three wins. They took some tough losses in conference. Southern Miss, Central Michigan. I guess that's it. Those are the only two. Southern Miss isn't even their conference. Yeah, I'm gonna fade them. I think the Zips come in here and just go crazy. They're off a lot of wins, but I mean they're the best team in the conference. They're not losing in conference. They have one conference loss to Miami of Ohio, and they just ran through everybody else. So I think they're on a different level, and they come in here and win by double digits. Akron it is. St. Joe's, Davidson. This is like a pick 'em, so I'm gonna lay off it because I do like I do like St. Joe's and I think that this away sample is including a lot of non-con games that aren't relevant at all. So I did adjust that a little bit, and I was getting St. Joe's as a slight favorite, but I'm not really getting like I would need to be getting them as like a 3 point favorite to move on this, but I like St. Joe's on the money line. I think Davidson is not good. I think they had some okay non-con performances and some okay early conference performance, but this team is not better than St. Joe's on a neutral at all. So I think like the fact that some of the numbers suggest that is making this line like a little short, but the market's putting them as the favorite. This Davidson team hasn't won more than twice the whole season, which, okay, that's not great, but St. Joe's is also on an absolute heater, winning six in a row. So I think St. Joe's is just a good team, and they really just figured it out during conference play here. After suffering some losses on the road, most of their road losses are on non-con. So when I made some adjustments to that and I took the non-conference early games out of these samples, St. Joseph's this 5 point edge here turned into basically half a point. So I like St. Joseph's. I might look for them and Toledo on the money line and just take the odds and just, maybe put like 2 units on it or something. Maybe not even. We'll see. Last game, North Texas, Tulsa. I like all the favorites today again. I like Tulsa here a lot to just show up and destroy them by double digits. I don't think these teams are in the same class as Tulsa. Tulsa has a real chance to win this conference tournament and go to the big dance. They are clearing this sample in all second half of season and conference play. They're clearing it overall. They're clearing it on the road versus similar teams. The only place they're not clearing it is in the ranked sample, but again, this sample is like a few teams. So it's just like, yeah, versus a few teams, they dropped the ball and North Texas played okay and kept it a game. So like it's kind of dragging it down. That's why I got rid of that sample. So I have them basically winning by between well, really like close to 5 and 10. So this is in the middle of that. So yeah, it's not like I'm getting a huge edge, but I really do feel that they will come in and win by double digits here, especially off of that shaky game they just had. Where is Tulsa? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 wins, but not unusual for them. They ran through their conference teams, winning 7 in a row in conference. They lost to North Texas earlier this season and then came back and whooped them by 20 points almost. So they lost to South Florida. That's the best team in the conference, but that's who they should be playing for it all for the conference championship, and they even have a chance. This is the Owls. Yeah, South Florida. Yeah, I don't even know who they're playing yet. Okay. They probably play the winner of this. They play the winner of this game on Saturday. Yeah, I'm rolling Tulsa because I'm leaning towards the higher end of the estimate I'm getting for sure. So I'm gonna grab Tulsa. I think they come in and whoop them and just show why they're the second best team in this conference. All right. So let's see what I'm gonna definitely grab real quick. This one I'm not touching. I'm on Florida minus 10.5. I'm gonna try to find UAB money line or minus 2.5 and grab that. So I might just eat it and pay for UAB money line. I'm hoping Charlotte takes money overnight. They might because a lot of money went into UAB when this opened. So waiting for money to go into Charlotte, and I'm gonna move on UAB either minus 2.5 or just grab the money line and just like take just pay all the juice for it because I feel pretty strongly about them winning. I'm on Wisconsin plus 8.5. This game I'm not touching. I'm gonna look for Toledo money line too and just pay for that. Just lay the juice with it. No, UAB I got winning by 5. So like I would lay a couple points with UAB. So we'll see what I can get. Toledo, on the other hand, I just don't think UMass is good at all, and I want to fade them off of their win to Miami of Ohio. That's a huge win for them, and I think their season is done tomorrow. So be looking at Toledo money line. This game I'm not touching. Taking Howard minus 14.5. I do not care. Not gonna take this game. Not gonna take this game. Even though I like these dogs. Like I low key like Nebraska. I lean Nebraska heavy. I lean Miami heavy. But I don't really know that I need to get involved in these. I have no idea how they're gonna go. Virginia could easily cover this. Akron, I'm on minus 6.5. St. Joe's is another potential money line I'd look at, but it's just hard for me because I don't want to back St. Joe's off of just that insane win streak when they don't really play that good on the road. So this one I'll probably won't be on, but I like St. Joe's money line. And then Tulsa minus 7.5. All right, so a ton of favorites today. We'll see how I do, but the actual picks I'll go with for the channel are Florida minus 10.5, Wisconsin plus 8.5, Toledo money line, Howard minus 14.5, Akron minus 6.5, Tulsa minus 7.5. All right, so that will do it. I'll try to drop a comment in just to like reiterate what I'm doing, but those ones I just said are gonna be the ones I go with for the channel. Those are like my favorite ones. All right, thank you.